Hey, what's going on out there, guys? How are you doing? You're now rolling with the D in audio, in video. The podcast is live, and I'm excited to be here, excited to get back with you guys, excited to chat with you a little bit. So, if you're in the world of Sunny D and the podcasting realm, we've got like three buckets. We've got the YFY podcast, your first year in the beauty industry, where I talk business, beauty, building your business, tactics, how to thrive if you're a new stylist in the industry, if you're a new business owner, just getting into owning a salon in the industry, if you're trying to navigate a new position in a company, mainly beauty, but really I mean, any new business. So that's where that bucket sits. We've got the Tanzo Hasami podcast, Tanzo Talks, which is a brand new podcast, 2 episodes deep. And that's going to focus on my new company, the Tanzo Hasami subscription scissor, forge scissor brand that I'm currently building. So that's where that bucket sits. So all things going on there, talking about scissors, talking about new products, which we have some, talking about shows, talking about hair cutting. So that's kind of that bucket. Then we have this bucket, the Rollin with the D podcast, where it's a smorgasbord, it's a blend, it's a what's happening in my world. It's kind of a look at everything. And there's a whole lot going on. And I don't get to do this podcast that much because I'm rolling with the D, right? I'm constantly rolling. And so when I do get to, I like to, come and update you guys on just like what's happening. I just kind of updated you on a couple things, with the Tanzo Hasami brand officially started shipping in July. The company kind of soft launched in May. And that's a scissor company because I was just sick and tired of, being sick and tired and people getting ripped off by these scissor companies or these bullshit, brands that are coming out and they're overcharging, under delivering, and built on what we don't know. So our platform is to give premium scissors without the premium price tag to create great scissors, tools, razors. We're going to be doing all things cutting and support and accessories of those things, but built by hairstylists and barbers, my partner Josh on this venture, and built for hairstylists and barbers. And, from everything from conception, to design, to best case, use case, test case, we're the product's consumer and we're developing these and we want to give people a fair shot, so just like what Robin Hood did with stocks, the stock market, trading. I mean, they were in the news. I did a whole podcast about all that stuff that was going on with them. But the same thing that they did with trading is they helped the little guy get access to big companies, big stock markets, and they're taking it even further because now they're giving you access to IPOs. So when a company goes public, there's a pre-party and only the elite of the elites usually get invited to the pre-party, meaning they could put in orders and get pricing preferable for them before it actually goes public. And then when it goes public, all of the average guys, the average Joes, the yous, the me's, then we can get in the game if we can afford to get in the game. So they're now making IPO, early IPO access for some companies, which I think is cool. And then the other thing that they do is like fractional shares. So if you wanted to buy a share of, we'll just say Amazon, and it's like $3,000 something a share, unless for one little sliver. So unless you have that $3,000 something, sorry, you're not getting access. So what they do is fractional shares. So if you have, as little as, I don't know how small you can go, maybe even like $5, $1, you can buy a little sliver of one of these big companies that you didn't really have access to before. And the other thing that they do is education. So they're teaching people how to invest, teaching people about investing, so they wanted to democratize investing for the little guy. And that, my friends, is what Tanzo Hasami is going to do with premium scissors. So like the $3,000 pair of scissors that was only accessible to like, the super high end, stylist or, barber or person that had a sugar daddy or a person that wanted to go in debt up to their eyeballs. Those days are going to be gone, because we're going to bring you the same premium quality, the $3,000, $2,000, even $1,000 price point for under $1,000. I mean, in our collection of 4 scissors of 3 different sizes, a 5.5, a 6-inch, and a 7-inch, and a texturizer, the thinning scissor, you can get all 4 of those for like $1,200. And it's a subscription, so you're paying a little over time, as low as $25 a month for one, up to $45 a month for those 4 that I just talked about. And over a 24-month period, you're like in at $1,200. You have 4 pairs of $1,000. You have $4,000 scissors. So for like $1,200, that's what we're doing. Let me take a sip of water. Try to stay hydrated. So, excuse me. So that's something that I've wanted to do forever, and sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that's how that happened. So that's there you go. There's an update. And with that, we're going to do our first show. We're going to do many shows, but one of the really cool things that I'm excited about is in line and at the same time as we're building the brand and signing up people, we got new subscribers every day. While we're doing all that, we're also going to be developing a subscriber, events online and in person platform where we're going to bring together awesome haircutters. We're going to do events where we'll do, haircutting demos in certain cities. We'll do some online members only kind of areas on our website, subscriber only areas, where we'll have exclusive content from some of these, big name or sought after haircutters, the great minds of haircutting. Some are big names, some aren't. There's people that I've been discovering out there that you probably never heard of. They don't have a huge following on Instagram, but they have some of the best work out there. So what would it mean to you to be able to get an exclusive interview with them, to watch or listen to an exclusive interview with them, to watch or listen to an exclusive haircutting demo with them, or haircutting, whether it be online or in person, where you cannot see that anywhere else, exclusive to our subscribers. So those are things that we're working on. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then what else is going on? So we're still living through the pandemic. I think the last time I did Rollin with the D may have been like, I don't even have to look it up, but it may have been like the end of 2020 for some reason. I want to say it could have been that long. Let me see when the last episode was, but we're still living through the pandemic. So here we are in September of 2021, and this thing is still going on. I didn't think it was going to be over quick, but I also didn't think it was going to be as, I guess you could say, front sight focused as it is right now. I mean, where do we start with this thing? So let me see if I can find the last episode. So March is when we shut our businesses down, right? Remember that? March of 2020. It was March 16th when I did all hands conference call. It was a Tuesday. We're closing. We have to do it. Got to be safe. We're going to do 2 weeks. We're going to help slow the spread. And then we're going to get back to business, right? So that's how it started. But obviously, I know, we all know that's not how it went down, because then it was 2 weeks, which turned into 2 months, which turned into now we're going on 2 years, right? So it's September now. So literally March of 2022 is going to be 2 years. And this thing isn't going anywhere, and I've come to realize that it's not going anywhere. It's like one of those things where it's going to be like, I don't know, like the flu, there's a flu season. There's going to be a COVID season. Now, listen, I'm not a doctor, so don't be like, well, Sonny said on the podcast that blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not a doctor, furthest thing from a doctor. I'm going to talk about it with a little bit of knowledge that I have in my experiences, but do not start quoting me and start talking about, I told you this or I told you that, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you do, I'm going to say, when the hell did I tell you that? Why the hell would you listen to me? And because I have all of these medical degrees up on the wall behind me? No, I don't. But here's the thing. Here's my thing. Okay. In my opinion, it's not going anywhere. And I think where people got excited, or people thought, Trump was going to end it. Then Biden came in. People, well, Biden's going to end it. And yes, I just got it finally here. So rolling with the D. So the final episode of 2020, that's the last time that I recorded, which it says December 31st, 2020, episode 58, which seems a little low because I know I've recorded more than 58 episodes, but that's what it says anyway. But people think, okay, Biden's going to end it. People think, well, Trump's going to end it. People think, well, maybe Sonny's going to. No, it's not going anywhere. And here's what happened. We got the vaccines. They did Operation Warp Speed for, they used the Emergency Authorization Act. So Emergency Authorization Act, meaning we're going to fast track these vaccines, because if we have no other treatment for this, we can get the Emergency Authorization Act and fast track these vaccines. So then Pfizer comes, Moderna comes, J&J, Johnson. So we got these vaccines. They start coming out. People are like, yeah. So people start getting the jab, getting the vaccines, thinking that, okay, now COVID's over. No, it's not over. It's not over. Again, I'm just looking at this like in parallel with like the flu season. The flu's never over, right? This virus, there's a season, it comes around, it heats up, whatever, and it's out there, and everyone's getting their flu shot. And I've never gotten a flu shot. I've gotten the flu a couple times. Some people are religious about getting the flu shot. So now with the COVID vaccine, that is what I kind of saw being the setup. They're going to set this up to a point where it's going to be like there's going to be a season. There's going to be a COVID season. You're going to get your COVID vaccine and you're just going to keep rolling. So, but people were under the impression, well, we get the vaccine and it's over. It's not going to be over. And when it wasn't over, then it was like, oh shit, now what? Because people got the vaccines and then they had breakthrough cases. So a breakthrough case, so you're trying to tell me that it broke through the vaccine, the almighty impenetrable vaccine? Yeah, because it's a virus. Like the vaccine may help you manage it better, may help reduce the symptoms, but it's not inoculation. And I think where people got, caught off guard in a sense is when they're like, oh, so-and-so has the vaccine, and they still got COVID. Okay. And then what? Okay. I mean, that's going to happen. People get the flu shot. Do people still get the flu? Yes. So, that's going on. And so I don't think, in my opinion, COVID ain't going nowhere. COVID's going to be here. So then it comes down to, well, how do we adjust to the new world that we're now living in called the COVID era? you know, and I talked about this ad nauseum in the beginning, that, you know, the corona economy, it's a new economy, like forget normal. We're not going back to normal. There's going to be some sense of normalcy, but it's going to be in each individual's own, uh, you know, timeline. Like you're going to decide when you're going to be going back to normal, and what your normal looks like. If you want to wear a mask from now until the fucking day that you die, then that's your normal. If you want to get a vaccine every month they come out with one, that's your normal. If you never want to wear a mask again, and you know that, you know, that's your normal. If you don't want to get it, so you have to decide. But everyone was like waiting on, you know, for Trump to do it, or for Biden to do it, or for somebody to do it. But at the end of the day, it's, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You know, and the crazy thing is, like, there's this whole, it got so politicized. That's why everyone's looking to like the politicians, because it became like this whole battle. It became like this whole thing. Even today, you know, 18 months pushing, you know, 18 months post the beginning of the bullshit, it's still being fucking pushed like political. It's like you have two groups. You have the vaxxed versus the unvaxxed. You've got the mask versus the unmasked. Listen, I've got friends and every, like, people that like love, they just, you know, they're wearing the mask, they're doing the vax, they're doing it, and that's fine. And I mean, personally, I'm not, but that doesn't mean that I'm like angry at anyone that is. But it's almost crazy, because what happens now, if I come on here on the podcast and I say, you know, I'm not going to, you know, do a vaccine based on the information that I have, I'm going to make that choice. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, am I anti-vax? No, I'm not anti-vax. I was in the military. I got fucking vaxxed up, baby. I got shots going down. But I made a choice. I'm not, you know, the information that I have as a healthy, you know, male, and the condition that I'm in, I feel, you know, my odds based on the information that I have are from me getting COVID and recovering from COVID about like 99%. If I get the vaccine, you know, if I had some underlying conditions, you know, comorbidity, like I was obese, I had, you know, certain things going on, I was much older, then that may be a different consideration. But with the facts that I have about me and the information that I have from different studies and the doctors and people that have gotten over COVID, that was my decision. Now, here's the deal. Newsflash. I had COVID, confirmed case. Now, here's the thing, guys. Before I talk about my little COVID scenario, we reopened our businesses in May of 2020. Now, I have businesses in multiple states. So literally, like, I immediately start flying. I'm going back and forth between Florida and Texas. I'm working in multiple salons. I'm around a lot of people. You know, we're still pretty masked up at that point. There were even regulations in place all through that point. March of this year, you know, they lifted a lot of those regulations. And I personally lifted, you know, I was like, okay, I'm not wearing a mask anymore. I mean, there was an abundance of evidence that kind of was there, right? That the mask isn't going to prevent, you know, the spread of COVID-19, right? I even was buying boxes of masks that literally on the box said does not prevent the spread of a virus. Okay, boom, that was there. But nobody, you know, it was like, okay, well, people, you know, it's in your mind, right? It's like, if I'm wearing this mask, I'm safe, right? So it became almost like a security thing. I made that decision in March. I was like, you know, I've been wearing this fucking mask for a year. I'm done, right? Like, the federal regulations were lifted, with the exception of a plane. Like, if I'm on a plane, it's FAA, like you wear the mask. They say it's federal rate, so I wear it. I'm not gonna buck it. I gotta travel. I'm going on the plane all the time, so I'm wearing it there. But anywhere else, I'm not. in stores, they kind of rolled it back to where it's like encouraged, but then it became like, well, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear the mask. If you're unvaccinated, you have to wear. But then and then when the cases started busting through, that blew a hole in that whole thing. Because now you're vaccinated, you wear a mask, you got COVID. How do you explain that one? And so I've been traveling this whole time. I looked it up in my Southwest app, and it was like 57, like I think in just the past year, like 57 plus flights. And my confirmed case of COVID just happened like almost 3 weeks ago. Right. So I've been like, and there's people that I know that stayed home the whole time that got it. There's people that I know that were doing everything, partying, going everywhere, doing it, and didn't get it. It's so, I don't know exactly where I contracted. I mean, I've been traveling back and forth, back and forth. Nobody that I was in contact with has it. Maybe it was on the plane. I had just gotten back. Who knows? But I got it, right? What did I do? How did I feel? I mean, I had and the thing that kind of clued me in, because I had been hearing about different symptoms. And I think I had it in the beginning because I was sick in the beginning of all this, and I had been traveling, California, Hawaii. But I think back then we didn't really know symptoms. So I thought I had like the flu, took a few days off, rest, recover, hydrate, boom, I was back on the game. But then there was no game, right? Because then we got our whole shit. The games got canceled, right? So that was back in the beginning. And so with this, the thing that kicker that kind of like was like, let me get the test. And I did the at-home test. I was pretty confident. Like, I remember waking up on it was like Sunday. So I got back on Friday. I went out, Saturday, went out hard, kind of hung out. Some of my friends had a good turn up. Sunday was kind of feeling a little foggy. I was like, oh, maybe, I don't know, I got a little hangover. I'm just going to get some rested up. But then this like headache started hitting me that Sunday night. And this headache was the key. The headache came and I was like, is this a hangover headache? And like, why is it showing up so late? And that was the key that made me think, this is a different feel. And then it rolled into Monday, and like I was almost like 100% because that night I had like some sweats, fever. So I was like 100% like, okay, I got it. This is the flu ish, but this headache is hitting different. Ooh, this headache hitting different. So I was like, yeah, I got it. So get the test, positive. So what did I do? Really, it was, couple days of bad headache, couple of days of, mild fever. I think at the highest it got up to was like 100. Little, just not really able to sleep comfortably because of that. But hydrating like is my job. Dayquil, NyQuil, dosed up on some vitamin D, vitamin C, and some zinc. So I just dosed up, like hyperdosed that. And just a lot of rest. That was really it. And by the next week, I was back on the road. I was good to go by the next week. So I had a solid, from first symptom, through that whole week rest. And then, after it was going on like the full 2 weeks, I was, back on the road, back in the air, flying again, back. So, I mean, that was my experience with it. There's obviously been a lot of different experiences with it. There's been from country to country, from person to person, age, demographics. We know still, like, if you've got underlying conditions, you're overweight, you're out of shape, you've got, you're not taking care of yourself, you're more susceptible to, when you get it, to it spiraling out of control, so that's a big thing. And I'm not like the healthiest guy in the world. I'm not like, going to the gym every day. I'm not, But I mean, I'm conscious. I do take care of myself. I do work out. I do try to stay hydrated. But I mean, I get run down, and I think that kind of could open the window. Maybe that opened the window a little bit. And that was, kind of what happened with me. And that was my experience. In the news, we also have heard that one of our favorite personalities, comedians, podcasters, also just recently in the past couple of weeks had his own bout with COVID. And that person I'm talking about, my friends, is Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan, I know you listen to the Rollin with the D podcast. Thank you for one. I need to get on that Spotify gravy train for 2. And for 3, please sue CNN. They are the worst. Now, I don't know if you guys, if you're an, MSNBC, if you're a Fox News, if you're a CNN, if you're like, fuck all the news and you're like, going for alternative news on YouTube. I don't know where you get your news from, but I'm going to tell you right now, like CNN's one of the worst, right? Because they have one of the biggest audiences and they just peddle shit. And so when Joe Rogan gets COVID and he starts, he's got, obviously a ginormous audience, and he put out there like what he did, what he took, how he felt, boom, negative test. I think he posted a picture of that. So he's doing all this. And the thing that the CNN and tons of the other media outlets latched onto and tried to run his ass through the mud was, oh, he was on his podcast talking about don't get the vaccine, which totally twisted. It's not what he said. He was talking about a person that was, 21-year-old. He's like, he didn't think that person would need it if they're in good health and they're fine. I mean, it is an experimental. Remember, it's an emergency use because there's no known treatment. Wink, wink. So that's how you get the emergency use. Now, if there is a known treatment, guess what? Then it doesn't fall under emergency use. So that's why there's obviously, we got to get this thing FDA approved. So then it's like, boom. And then what did you see? FDA approval. Now businesses, corporations are starting to be like, hey, you have to get the vaccine. Because that was the argument before. It was like, well, it's not even approved by the FDA. I don't want to put experimental. Well, we got, there's FDA approval on, I think one of them. I don't think all of them. Pfizer's the big one, right? They got the money. Now, the debate is, it's a money thing because there's no money in kind of like the cure for cancer, right? Could we cure cancer? Probably. I mean, we can fucking put Jeff Bezos went to space, right? Arguably. Richard Branson just went to space. Jeff took up the old chick. He took up with her and the young kid and I think his brother. Richard Branson, I don't know if he took anybody up, but so we're putting fuckers in space, yet we can't figure out how to cure cancer. Okay, so just think about that, because here we are now. If there's treatment, so it's like you got to follow the money. So when you find out that Pfizer and some of these big guys are how much money they do have and how much they can get for these vaccines, if you make them mandatory, if you get government money, if you get and then you hear about other treatments, therapeutics, right? When Trump had COVID, he took some therapeutics, and got better. Started talking about some of those therapeutics, and they made him seem to be crazy. He's going to kill people. I think at that time it was like hydrochloroquine, remdesivir, the what was it? Anto something bodies. I forget the damn name. Monoclonal antibodies or something, right? He took these therapeutics, got better. But the thing is, everyone was like, oh, I hope he dies. It's like, why? Right? So now Joe Rogan gets it. And so he puts out his regimen, and it's almost like because he said something about the kid maybe not needing to get the vaccine. He's healthy, he should be fine because most people recover, like 99% of people recover if they're in decent shape, decent health. So when he gets COVID, because he said that, it's almost like they wish like it killed him. Like, because they start running with that. They're like, oh, he is talking about anti-vax. He's not anti-vax. He's talking about, don't get the vaccine. And look, he got like they're happy that this man got COVID. And so when he recovers, now what? Well, shit, he's taking those therapeutics. He's crazy, right? So they start hitting him with the he's taking horse dewormer, like headlines, right? I'm reading this shit, but I already know, most like these news outlets are all about some bullshit. They're all about shock. They're all about sensationalism. I just watched a really good documentary if you want to get into the media and what it's about. It's called Gossip. I think it's called Gossip. It's on, what is it on? Is that on Showtime? And it's about the column in the New York Post. And they kind of highlight one of the pioneers and the longest running, column, Cindy Adams. And they highlight her. They highlight a couple other people that have been, writing these stories for years and years and years. And what sells newspapers, what grabs people's attention, what captures headlines, and how, they're looking for that. And we are too, as people. So the headline is Rogan's taking horse dewormer pills. It's like, what? Right. And so that's where things go. And Gossip on Showtime. Check it out. It's a short series. There's how many episodes? There's 4 episodes. They're all like 50 minutes a piece. But it's really good. And, and it covers everything. It covers all of the top headlines from, and how it shifted into now everything's like social media. Everything's like on Instagram, like you're your own gossip columnist. But that's what people want to see. They don't want the story, the real story. So Rogan's on his podcast this week with Tom Segura, his hilarious comedian. And he starts talking about suing CNN. And I got the clip here. I'm going to play it for you guys. And just about all of the bullshit, right? So let's take a little listen.
It is an old horseworm Rogan. I'm glad you're well, man. Bro, do I have to sue CNN? They're making shit up. They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor. It's an American company. Mm-hmm. They won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for use in human beings. Yeah. And CNN is saying I'm taking horse dewormer. Yeah. So they must know that that's a lie. There's a lot of people saying it. Right, but a lot of people can say it. Okay. Like the internet says it. Who cares? Sure. But CNN is saying it. Like Jim Acosta. I meant like USA Today, a few other places. Yeah, and they're talking about ivermectin. Right? Yeah,
but he's trying to portray this as if he is feeling better now. He's doing better now because of this cocktail of drugs and medications that he has taken. Of course, some of these are under emergency use authorizations. Others have been, discouraged by the CDC and the FDA. But when you have a horse deworming medication that's discouraged by the government, that actually causes some people in this crazed environment we're in to actually want to try it. That's the upside down where we're in with figures like Joe Rogan.
So, Dr. Wen, ivermectin apparently given to deworm animals. Why are people using this? I mean, I know, it's being spread online and stuff, but what is the theory that it works?
Oh, no,
Well, I
she's a
think there are
doctor,
some
so.
people who want to believe that there is a magic pill for COVID, which of course we would all want. But this is the main issue. So with ivermectin, not only is it that we know, not only are we saying that there's no evidence it works, it goes beyond that. We actually know that it doesn't work. There was a systematic
And
review
then
looking at
Jim
10
Acosta's nodding,
randomized
yes.
controlled trials that have been done,
Yes.
that were done in different countries, looking at different doses of ivermectin. And they found that there was no benefit for ivermectin in reducing mortality.
It actually has been shown to improve the outcome of patients with COVID, as well as prevention of COVID. You know,
What's
I'm sure
that?
you're familiar with the newest data from
Right.
India.
So she's going off. There's no evidence. So this video is it's on Instagram, and it kind of cuts through all of those. So, you know, what happened with Joe was saying on his podcast, what happened with the no evidence, right? Because then you got the CNN cut, and then it cuts into doctors with the evidence and the studies, and you can watch it. It's like a 4-minute video on Instagram, but it kind of just shows you what the media like is up to, because they're out there like, he's taking a horse dewormer, right? But you got to do your own research. You think he doesn't do the research? I mean, the guy is in the health and nutrition space, like within the fighting, ultimate fighting and working out. And I mean, if you know anything about him, you know, he's on like the supplements, like he does research. He sits down and interviews people all the time that do this. And he had a great interview a while back with another doctor talking about it. But then they start painting this, you know, picture, and the average person, all they're going to see is that CNN headline, ivermectin, horse dewormer, Rogan's taking it. That's all they're going to see. You think they're going to find that video? You think the average fucking Joe is on the Rollin with the Deep podcast or the Joe Rogan podcast listening? Probably not. So the masses see the CNN headline, or they see the USA Today article, or they see whatever other sensational little hit piece that goes out, and they're like, oh, this fucking guy, Joe Rogan, he's a clown. Like, he's using his, like, people were literally saying he's using his platform to spread misinformation about COVID-19. He's using his platform to spread information about what he's up to. And he got better. Oh, is that not newsworthy? I mean, the guy looked like he was pretty good to me. And he had Tom Segura in studio this week. And this shit just happened a week ago. So, you know, but that's not going to make the headline. So hopefully, yes. Joe, if you're watching, let's sue fucking CNN. Like, I mean, who isn't tired of them, right? I mean, that's what they do. That's what they do. So that's in the headline. So I have COVID. I did what I did. Feeling, you know, A-okay. Had me, you know, real tired for a few days, headache for a few days. Dosed up on the vitamin D, dosed up on the vitamin C, which I think he also was doing. I didn't know what he was doing when I was doing what I was doing. I was just doing what I'm doing based on what I know about me and what I know about the supplements and my little limited knowledge. And I take supplements regularly. But I'm like, yeah, vitamin D, you know, hits every receptor, every cell receptor in your body, help boost up the immune system. Vitamin C, boost up the immune system. Zinc, hydration, sleep, better. That was my regimen. Didn't have the ivermectin. If I had it and I felt, you know, I mean, and Joe's a little bit older than I am, but if I had access to it, would I have taken it? I think he was also his vitamins he was doing through IV, which you can get straight to the blood. So anything, the closer you can get straight to the bloodstream versus like a pill that your body has to try to break down, it's always going to be more beneficial because your absorption rates are going to be higher. And so I take mine in powder form. I was taking gummies this time, so the absorption rates are higher. If I had IV, I would have taken it. I mean, he's got unlimited resources. He got a fucking $100 million contract with Spotify. So he, you know, he's fucking probably got 3 doctors at his house, like, you know, hooking him up. So good for him. He got better. Like, why would you want him to fail at COVID. Like, even if it was, you know, Joe Biden, who is like, you know, I mean, he's the president of the United States, apparently, doing a fucking smash up job at nothing, right? In my opinion, I wouldn't want him to fail though at COVID. I don't even want him to fail at the presidency. I mean, he is miserably, he's fucking terrible. Everything he does is, it's like a shit show, but he's still the president of the United States. So I want him to succeed. I really fucking do, Joe. This is what we got, you know, it's like what we got. If you only have one horse in the race, it's like you don't want to see that horse break a leg, right? Even if Joe, you know, got COVID, I wouldn't be like, good. I mean, he's old as fuck. He's already kind of looks like he's like senile or something. So I wouldn't be like, good, I hope you die. Even though he's, yeah, in my opinion, probably in my lifetime, the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in the White House on every level. I still, you know, I'm like, fuck, this is what we got. It's not, we don't have another horse in the race, right? We have one president. So please fucking make a decision and do something that works. Come on. You know, as an American, if he got COVID, I'd be like, you know, I hope he pulls through. I'm not, but these fucking news outlets, they're like, oh, he didn't get the vaccine. He doesn't want to be, you know, scared of COVID. And now look, he got COVID. And it was the same thing when Trump got it. It's like, he got it because they wanted him to die. Like, he took the mask off, remember, on the balcony? He got home from the hospital and he goes on the balcony and they had that shot and he's like, he took his mask off and they're like, he got up there and ripped his mask off. It's like, he's your president. He got better. Isn't that a good thing? Apparently not. So that was an interesting headline. What else is going on? It's you know, and it's this is the world that we're living in, guys. You know, please, if you come in here to, you know, to not live in that world, this is the reality. And what, I don't know, we got the Delta variant, right? It's a new variant. Breakthrough cases. I don't even know. I mean, which one did I have? I don't know. I took the at-home test. It was positive, confirmed my already suspicion. And I left it at that. But the Delta variant, there's some other variant called the Mu, which is, I guess, Fauci was talking about, which Fauci is in, oh shit, Fauci's in some hot water, right? Because he was out there talking about the NAID, like the institute that he's been the head of like for like 100 years, didn't fund any gain of function research, which is where in the lab they take a virus and basically fuck with it and turn it into like a super virus. And so like it is able to adapt and become like even more dangerous. That's called gain of function. So apparently his organization, Rand Paul, was up in Congress and talking about how his organization had given grants, you know, to certain laboratories that were conducting gain of function. And he stood up there and was like, absolutely, positively not, Senator. That's a lie, Senator. And now, apparently, there's some documentation to back all that up, which I didn't doubt it. I mean, that's a pretty big claim. If I came at you in Congress as a senator and testified that you did X, Y, and Z, and that there was evidence that you did X, Y, and Z, and it wasn't true, like especially something as big as that, like, So I was pretty sure that when Rand Paul was testifying, he must have the goods. He's got to have the goods, because why the hell would he come out there and say that? But Fauci looked dead in everyone's face. And Fauci, he's a slick little fucker. He looked dead in everyone's face, and he tried to be like, nope, not even possible, not remotely possible. We've never done. And now paperwork. Oh, they found the receipts. There's paperwork out there that contradicts everything that Fauci said and supports everything that Rand Paul testified about. That, yeah, there was grants given to some of these labs. Documents show Fauci funded Wuhan lab, created novel coronavirus with enhanced pathogenicity for humans. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. I don't know what all that means, but I know one thing. It means, Fauci, you may have lied and your ass is going to be in trouble. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see what we shall see what happens, because somehow it seems like motherfuckers be getting caught red-handed and don't, it used to be, you do the crime, you do the time, right? I did the crime and I did the time, right? Got caught red-handed, and it was like, all right, I accepted it, right? I got caught. I went to prison for the crime. That was that. Case closed. But that doesn't work like that for everybody. So here's the article. So newly released U.S. government documents show that Dr. Anthony Fauci's National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, the NIAID, provided funding for the gain of function research conducted at the Wuhan Institute of Virology that created novel coronaviruses with the ability to infect humans, and one previously undisclosed SARS-related coronavirus engineered at the Wuhan lab was reportedly demonstrated to be more pathogenic to humans than the virus from which it was originally constructed. So 900 pages of documents. 900 pages. So there's something called the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. You can file a FOIA lawsuit, which apparently the Intercept did, and they got the receipts. Ooh, damn. So the Intercept's report on the documents quotes Richard E. Bright, a molecular biologist at Rutgers University, who said that the viruses the Wuhan lab constructed were, and this is quotes, were tested for their ability to infect mice that were engineered to display human-type receptors on their cell. And these viruses included both SARS-related and MERS-related coronaviruses. Damn. So we're going to find out. We're going to see. They always want to do the hearings, and then the evidence is there, and then we wait and we wait and we wait and we see. So we'll keep an eye out for Fauci. We'll see if and you want to go read the 900 pages and report back to me, be my guest. But I mean, are you surprised? Are you surprised that, a government official lied to us? I mean, how many times is that going to happen? What else has been going on? Everyone knows about Afghanistan, the shit show that's going on over there. And I've already been pissed enough about it, and have talked with people about it, and have friends, former military, current military, people that I've never spilled blood in Afghanistan, but I know people that have. I have friends that have, currently, recently have made trips, back over there under a lot of pressure to help and find and rescue people. There's people doing that right now. So the United States pulled out of Afghanistan August 31st. Why? Because apparently now we negotiate with terrorists, and apparently that was the day that couldn't be moved, right? So, and this is why we're having a rough time. And I say we, meaning people that love this country, people that have friends that, were fighting in those wars, that spilled blood on those lands, in those sands. And over 20 years, September 11th, we know that the Taliban are fucking terrorists. We, as a United States of America, do not negotiate with terrorists. And all of a sudden, our president decides now that we negotiate with terrorists, and they're dictating terms. and we tell them, oh, we got to be out. So what's the date? Oh, August 31st. And we're just like, oh yeah, okay. So we're going to get everybody out. Now, I'm not a general. I got some, military experience, obviously being in the Marine Corps, being in infantry, planning, processing everything that's going on, watching it unfold. You don't need to be in the military to know that the way that we did it was completely contradictory to any way you would plan anything ever. I mean, fucking military or non-military. If you had a football game and you had to remove everybody from the stadium and finish the game, do you think, all right, just follow me with this. So the game is being played. We're going to end the game. We need to remove everybody from the stadium and finish the game. So the first people we're going to remove, who might that be? The players. And then we'll remove the cheerleaders, the referees, everybody on the field, and we'll slowly work our way into the crowd. Actually, let's remove all of the staff that works there. Last but not least, we'll remove the fans. What kind of fucking sense does that make? And oh yeah, but we got to finish the game. So we want to finish this 20-year war. So the first people we're going to remove are the players, our military, the people fighting, the people that are holding the line, the military. And then we get told, oh, we plan for all these contingencies. The fucking Taliban ran shop in like 10 days, took over the whole country. I don't know how many people over there, like 40 million people. And they literally took over the whole entire fucking country in like 10 days because we removed all of our fucking players first. And then, oh, who's left? Oh, Americans, our interpreters, special immigrant visa holders, allies, people that helped us, women, children. So how are they going to be protected? Oh, we plan for all these contingencies. Really? And you see how fucking quickly they're like, oh shit, now I got Marines leaving, going back to Afghanistan because we planned. No, if you planned, you wouldn't be sending troops back in. You fucked up is what you did. And you pulled troops out and they're like, oh shit, they're running amok. Send them people back in and try to protect us. And we got the shittiest spot in the world, the fucking worst airport you could have there. And now we got fucking 13 military dead. You plan that? You plan for that contingency? Because you got ISIS running a fucking muck. You got the Taliban running amok. You got a suicide bomber. So you plan that. Now, as the head coach, right? That's what you are as the president of the United States. You fucked up. You got to man up. And that's why I think, myself included, people are so fucking heated. When this is just one thing. We're not even going to get into the, what's going on at the southern border. There's a lot of fucking disasters going on, but this is one of the latest. And as a military veteran, as a person who has, like I said, friends and downrange fucking that have spilled blood over there, and you see a debacle like this with the limited military experience that I have, I could tell you a fucking better plan. That we're going to get our people out, meaning Americans, SIVs, our allies, people that helped us. We're going to get them out first. We're going to keep our fucking military contingent in place, show of force. We're going to keep the airports that we had, show of force, get our fucking people out. And then if we need to then start moving, we'll consolidate, get our fucking equipment out. Don't even get me started on that. Something like 80 billion. They got weapons, guns. I mean, you can see the videos. They're all over the place. Machine guns, uniforms. They got fucking helicopters, armored vehicles. They got it all. So now we fucking totally fucked that whole withdrawal out because of some date we had to be like, who the fuck's telling us we're the most powerful military in the world? We've been holding that shit down for 20 years. And all of a sudden we got to be out we got to be out once we get all our people out. And that's what you do. You sit down with fucking whoever. If you sit down with them, they're not dictating terms to us. So that's where it's at. And I'm going to leave it there because I'm getting fucking heated up. So yeah, he totally fucked that one up. And I mean, the military community as a whole is just like, I mean, at first it was just like pissed. And then it was like, are you fucking serious? And then it was like, he's got to be kidding. And then it was just like, what the fuck? And it was like, am I living in this fucking, is this this really happening right now? So yeah, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. And this is what I'm dealing with. And so, you know, it's all coming out. I mean, it's all coming out. So you got that going on. You got the southern borders fucking like pouring in like a sieve. We don't know what's going on. But then we're being told we can't go to fucking anything without a vaccine or a mask. But now we got, 40,000 people coming in over here, another 100,000 people, 200,000 people coming in over there. Nobody's got the fucking vaccine. Nobody's got a mask. We don't know who these people are. And then it's like, oh, we don't let them in. We're all racist. Come on, man. Come on, man. The fuck out of here. So that's what we're dealing with, and I'm a small business. Listen, I'm a small business owner and I'm trying to keep my fucking business afloat. And I'm, in the environment I'm in already every single day, like trying to keep my doors open, trying to keep the ball moving forward. And all of these other things that are happening, all around, everybody's like, onshore. Like, where the fuck is our country going? Right. So as we start to walk down this path, it's like, fuck, we're like, okay, I got to think about this. This could happen. This could happen. That could happen. So it's not easy right now. It's not easy. And it's like, is anybody at the wheel? Is anybody at the wheel? And so right now I know people like myself, like, my team, we're going to accept that shit may not be going back to the way that it used to be. But I know, we also have to accept that we have to continue moving forward. We got to get through the rest of this presidency. Like I said, hopefully the guy can get some fucking help in there. Hopefully he can get some help and make some decisions. Make some decisions that actually move us forward. Because some of these other countries are looking at us like, wow, y'all are fucked up. I mean, y'all are kind of fucked up right now. What's going on? So what do? Escapism, right? We're listening to podcasts and you come here and hear all this. Oh my God. But I'm giving you my spin on it. Okay. I mean, this is my spin. We got to find escapism, right? Music, sports. I mean, sports, is anybody paying attention to that? I am. I'm excited. Football's getting ready to fucking kick back off again. I'm going to watch the Giants. That's going to be my escapism. Sundays, whenever they're playing, Mondays or Thursdays, if they're playing, I'm watching. Gives me a chance to just tune out. Apparently, most stadiums are going to be bringing their fans back in. College started. I don't know if you've been watching that, but they are fucking like going ham at the college games. I'm like ready to go to some college games because they're having fun. They're tired. Like, their lives got locked down. I mean, there's still going to be bullshit going on. They're like, okay, if we get Corona, we get it. We're healthy. We're young. We're going to go fucking live our life. Right. Good for them. Most of the NFL stadiums, I guess, are going to be having full capacity. I know some stadiums are like, you got to show either a negative COVID test or or vaccine, like they're trying to push the vaccine passport. Like, I don't think that's I mean, listen, you run your business how you run it. But if I started discriminating, against, I need anybody who wants to come in for a fucking haircut to come in. If you're sick, please don't come in. If but other than that, I mean, I'm not screening you at the fucking door. I'm not requiring you to show me your papers, show me your vaccine passport, or a negative COVID test. I'm giving you a service, a place to come and conduct business. I'm trusting that you'll respect that as a human to human type of deal. It's an unwritten contract. It's like a decency contract. Now, if you're sitting there and you knowingly have COVID and come in and fucking, you're a scumbag, right? And try to spread it. But like, we're not going to start, doing that. So some of the stadiums are going to do that. That might work for them. I don't know. But I'm excited for football be back. I'm excited. So has anybody been paying attention to the wonderful world of boxing? Jake Paul, love him or hate him, this kid's on fire. He just won his 4th professional fight against Tyron Woodley, a UFC multi-division champion, Hall of Famer. They went the distance, and Jake Paul wins in the scorecards. And he fucking wins. This is his 4th fight. So love him or hate him. I mean, he must have, he trained his ass off. He's boxing. Tyron Woodley's been fighting his whole life. He's boxing and he's winning. I mean, he's got people paying attention to the sport of boxing again, which we haven't really had a whole lot of that since a lot of the main stars, kind of went away. I know I grew up on fucking when Mike Tyson would be fighting, it'd be like everybody at one house, like it's fucking whoever could afford the pay-per-view. And it was like the biggest shit ever, but that kind of went away. I mean, the excitement and everything kind of moved to the UFC, but Jake Paul, I mean, almost single-handedly, I mean, he's had opponents, but he's brought like boxing back up. And most people are watching because they're hoping he gets knocked the fuck out, but it hasn't happened. Like he knocked 3 people out, and then he goes the distance with a real fighter. So good for him. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Then it was funny because he retired the next day. Like he put out on Twitter, he's like, his post was like, status update, retired boxer. And then the next day after that, it's like status update, coming out of retirement. Like he's fucking having a blast with the media. He's trolling the media. He's in the media. He's mastered media. He's got eyeballs. He's got attention. And he's getting paid for it. So good for him. It's exciting. I mean, I got the pay-per-view. Ain't gonna lie. I got it. I watched that shit. I was like, oh shit. I mean, there was a couple good fights on there. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do next, but he's definitely got the eyeballs and attention. So, and I'm sure he knows it, right? He's going to capitalize on it. The craziest part about that fight is they made a bet at the press conference that the loser has to get the winner's name. I love whoever. So Jake Paul loses. He's got to get I love Tyron Woodley tattooed on his body. And so in this case, Tyron Woodley post fight's like, I want a fucking rematch. I think I won. I don't have a mark on my face. Blah, 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 blah. And Jake Paul brings up the tattoo. And they had, I think it was Tattoo Baby, famous tattoo artist there, that the whole thing she was going to be doing was after the fight, she was going to tattoo the loser. Now, the other stipulation was that the loser has to get the tattoo and post the picture on their Instagram of the tattoo. So I have not checked Tyron Woodley's Instagram since the last, week since the fight. So let me go to his Instagram page and see if there's a picture of him with the tattoo. So he's got a Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson looking dude on here. It's like a midget. I don't know if this is did somebody Photoshop this shit in, or does this dude really look like Mike Tyson? Oh, he's trying to clown Jake Paul because Jake Paul's he beat him. Where is the tattoo? Is the tattoo going to come out here? I'm looking. So this was 6 days ago. Nothing. I don't know. I'm waiting to see it. This is a 9-minute. I'm not.
Might be like 4,000 people in this live.
Okay, so he's doing a live. Nothing going on there. Where's the tattoo, bro? You want the rematch? Because it sounded to me like Jake Paul was like, well, you do the tattoo, then we'll talk rematch. But I'm waiting to see tattoo because that was the stipulation. Where's it at? I don't see it. His last post was 12 hours ago with Wiz Khalifa. Happy birthday. Yeah, I don't know. He was partying in Phoenix. I mean, they both got some good shots in. So obviously on their Instagram, they're going to, post their best shot. Jake Paul caught him. He caught Jake Paul. I mean, they kind of went at it. I mean, it was legit. And I didn't think it was not going to be legit, but I was like, going into the fight, I was like this. I was like, if he fucking knocks out Tyron Woodley, that shit's going to be like, it's around the world. Because Tyron Woodley is not, I mean, who did he fight? He fought Ben Askren. He fought like Nate Robinson, basketball dude, Ben Askren, like kind of, I mean, he wasn't whipping anybody and who knows how long. It's like kind of a, done fighter, washed up, done. Nate Robinson, basketball dude, never fought ever. And then he fought I think the Japanese kid. So like he didn't fight anybody, but he knocked these fuckers out. So it's like, all right, that was kind of cool. So this was his first, I would say, real fight against a real fighter that's in shape, that hasn't been that's not dusting off his gloves, that hasn't fought in forever. This is like a real fighter, real fucking fight. And they were talking shit. And Tyron's like, I'm gonna fucking take you to town, and I'm gonna retire you medically. Like he was like, I'm gonna fucking knock you out. And it didn't happen. So props to Jake Paul he'd never gone out of the first round before in any of his professional fights. It's like because he knocked everybody out in like the first round. So now he's coming out, fights the whole. They go 8 rounds. So he took him out there into some deep waters, tested his conditioning and tested his mettle, tested his chin. But you know what? I don't see a tattoo. So I don't know what to tell you, Tyron. Where's your tattoo at, man? Are you gonna, 5-time UFC welterweight champion. I mean, he's a real fucking fighter. But yeah, I don't see the tattoo. So I don't know what the prospects are for this rematch, but we'll keep an eye on that. Other than that, hopefully, people are going back to work. I know a lot of people have been living off that government cheese. How long can you do that? Nobody can hire if people don't want to work. So hopefully, people are going back to work. People are getting more confidence. I think the breakthrough cases in COVID was a good thing because that kind of gave everybody like an indicator like, hey, COVID's here to stay. You're going to get it. Listen, if you're listening to this and you haven't got it, you're probably, the odds are likely you're going to get it at some point. Just, start taking care of yourself. I've seen some people that have made some really kind of big shifts, lifestyle and health wise, because they're like, oh, if I'm healthier, my odds of dealing with it without much issue are greater. No shit. So get healthier, get your gym on, get some workout in, check your diet, clean up your shit, and you're going to get it. That's it. And I think it was kind of good because now that people have seen, okay, I'm going to get it, and people are getting it and recovering from it with vaccine, without vaccine. Okay. It's not as scary. So it kind of took the brand, because COVID is a brand. Okay. Just understand that, guys, from a fucking marketing, Pfizer's not giving shit away. They're selling fucking tickets, vaccines, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. They're selling fucking tickets to the show, and the show is COVID. So to keep that show relevant, that brand relevant, they use a lot of fear. They try to scare the shit out of you and me and everybody. You know, I got people walking around on the streets completely by themselves, no fucking human in sight. I'm driving in a car or whatever, going by, and they're wearing the mask, 2 masks, fucking in 90-degree heat because of fear. The brand, the promoter of the show, and the biggest kind of, you know, promoter of the ticket is fear. So I think that the breakthrough cases, oddly, is a good thing, because then it's like, oh, okay, you mean I can still get it? Yeah, you can still get it, and you're going to most likely be fine. So I think the breakthrough cases might be a good thing. We'll see. We'll see. Other than that, that's all the news. That's all current events. That's the sports. Music, anything going on in music? Drake, new album. I use the emoji, right? I got on the trend with the little emoji pregnant. Everyone's like, oh, because it was Certified Lover Boy is the name of the album. So it's like, are you a certified? I used it for the Tanzo Hasami brand, Certified Tanzo Hasami Lover. Put our logo on there. You can check it out on my Instagram or the Tanzo Hasami page. Listen to the album. It was all right. Nothing. I mean, I think he has better as a few bangers on there. Listen to actually what I'm into right now, album wise. I'm actually into the Donda, the Kanye West album that came out. I mean, that shit. I think he's one of the, and I was talking about this the other day. He's like one of the only artists right now, I think, that's like taking chances with his music and his sounds and his presentation. I mean, he did this fucking concert in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He performed the whole album. I did not go, but I saw a few clips of it. I mean, he's taking chances, you know, so good for him. I really like that album. What else is out there? I think that's about it. So now you're all caught up on what's going on in my world. I'm excited to do some more classes. We got a show coming up September 19th in Austin, BarberCon. It's a one-day event. It's a Sunday. We're going to be there. It's kind of like our official first show as a scissor company, as a scissor brand. And launch party. We got some new product that we're releasing that day. So if you heard it here first, there will be some teasers going out on Instagram. It's 10 days away. It's September 9th, 10 days. So if you're in Austin, you go to BarberCon. I think it's sold out. Pretty excited about that. You come by, check us out. We'll be there. I know there's going to be an after party that night somewhere. Getting the details on that, let you guys know. But we're going to be there repping the scissors, having some fun, cutting some hair. Got a 10-minute stage presentation we're going to be doing. Shit's going to be hot. We're going to be posting a bunch on social media. So that's like our official kind of launch party. And then, yeah, just kind of continue building that brand, working with the salons. You know, our salons are still, you know, really still recovering. We're coming out of summer, coming into the holiday season. This will be a test for the economy to see how we do. I guess you can consider us a retailer. We're in the retail space. We're in the professional service space. So we'll see how this season goes, because this is a big indicator, right? Everyone looks forward to the season, you know, the moving into the fall, the shopping season, the holiday season. Hopefully people, you know, are feeling good and are ready to spend some money, you know, so we can continue this recovery. But like I said, it's going to be a long one. I told people it ain't over, right? Just because they open businesses back up, it's going to be a long recovery. There's going to be some permanent damage. You know, so I'm never out of the woods. I'm kind of paranoid that way. And I think that kind of keeps me on my toes, but, you know, we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to keep innovating. And, you know, that's what we have to do. You know, that's what we do. What do you do? So if you're rolling with the D, we're going to acknowledge the bullshit. We're going to address the bullshit. We're going to handle the bullshit. And then we're going to move on beyond the bullshit. That's how we roll. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to the Rollin with the D podcast. Share this with a friend, a colleague, somebody that you think may need a little checkup from the neck up, or somebody that you think could, you know, maybe use this information in some way, somehow. I'm excited to be back on the mic with the Rollin with the D podcast. Make sure you give the other podcast a look, YFYI podcast, your first year in. and also Tanzo Talks, our new Tanzo Hasami podcasts are all available wherever you listen, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Anchor, everywhere. So check them out. And until next time, guys, thanks for rolling with the D, getting your checkup from the neck up. And I look forward to catching you guys on the next episode. Until then, talk to you soon.